We don't want to leave. We don't want to go. And well, I'm asking them to get a spare bed for one evening more. If anybody wants to sponsor me, I could stay here for a year.
If I can bring all the Scots here in New England or the East Coast, I would in a heartbeat.
The cones on top of every statue were amazing.
I like the parade with the bagpipes from here to Fenway.
It's so nice to understand that people are actually enjoying us being here. At the same time, the Scots have also enjoyed coming here too.
The people just took to the Scottish like like cousins. I don't know, just like long lost family. Now we found a new family. We have to come back.
Even if we don't have the World Cup, they should still come back every year.
After the game, we went back to Boston, got in a cab, went to the airport to go home, and I thought, I'm not going home. I'm staying. So I get back out the taxi and got another taxi straight back into Boston to come here to watch this game. The Boston people are amazing. It's the best city I've ever been in my life, bar none. It's incredible. The people, this is why I stayed, because you guys are just amazing.
I was saying I loved America before it was popular to say. For a while, it was trending online that everything about America was negative. I just could not pretend my experience wasn't positive here. Was genuinely the best decision I've ever made in my entire life as a permanent resident of the country that I've dreamed of living in. And I'm so happy we worked so hard to get it, because I am having the best time of my life.
This is probably the most American thing I've ever seen. I'm saying that a lot in America. We've got one size of monster, another size of monster, another size of monster. But if that's still not big enough for you, another size of monster. Oh my God.
All right, opened.
You're lying. You're lying. It's a Costco. I see all the ones on TikTok going, can I get a hot dog?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God, it's Costco.
Right, we need to go to the produce section. I actually need some stuff.
They have food and the washer dryer in here.
Yeah, and like lots of things.
Oh, bitch, how the f*** did I have chewing spilled on my country's life? Free. It was free. I could feed the whole plane. The whole bloody plane. $1.50.
This is how amazing Americans are, right? Can you imagine flying two Americans to London, right? It's on us, and they bought homemade cake.
Wow, that looks incredible.
Like, American hospitality is the best thing.
It never ends.
I mean, Brits are taking homemade food to America.
Try some.
Shall we try some? I mean, homemade as well. Lemon cake.
Oh.
Do you know what that's made with?
What?
Love.
Yeah.
Made with love.
Have you guys seen all these videos of Europeans visiting the United States for the World Cup and just falling in love with American food and hospitality and the natural beauty? Who knew that the solution to transatlantic relations was barbecue and free refills? Just wait until we start taking them to gun ranges.
So many of you reached out after my last video that I had to say this one more time. The media has been lying to you about America, and the World Cup just proved it. For years, European and Canadians have been fed the same narrative. America is dangerous. Americans are ignorant. The culture is shallow. The food will kill you. And people believed it. Why? Because they saw it on the news. They read it online. They never actually went. Then the World Cup came, and millions of people who had never set foot in the US suddenly showed up. And you know what they found? Friendly people, incredible energy, stadiums that blew their minds, hospitality they didn't even expect. Video after video of Europeans and Canadians saying, I had no idea, I was completely wrong, this is nothing like what I was told. And that's exactly the problem. The media doesn't profit from you having a good experience. It profits from fear, division, outrage. A Canadian family having the time of their life in Texas doesn't get clicks, you know? A crime story does. So that's all you ever see. That's all you ever hear. And slowly, without even realizing it, your entire worldwide view gets shaped by people who want you to be afraid. And look, in my opinion, the World Cup didn't just bring football to America. It accidentally broke the most powerful propaganda machine in the world.
I agree 1,000% with her. And let me do you another one. Let me add on to that and pile on to that whole conversation. I think it continues to change the mindsets of people that are too young or too immature or too lazy to do the research for themselves, even within the United States. There are people that have leaned 1,000% one way or 1,000% another way and refuse to have a conversation. And when I say a conversation, that is much different than a debate. A debate is trying to prove somebody else wrong, taking a position and trying to argue that position for victory in the eyes of everybody else that's observing so that you can make yourself look good. A conversation is me taking in what you say, you taking in what I say. And as a person that has been on both sides of the political aisle, meaning that I was raised to be a Democrat, and we always voted that way just because we were black and we were expected to do so. And that's what I did all the way up until my 30s. And then I changed my position, maybe not even my 30s, my late 20s. I changed my position and I started getting curious about why we continue to do this when it doesn't align with any of our values. Why are we doing this? We are a conservative people. And so once I broke free, I was able to look at it from both sides and then objectively make a decision for myself instead of letting the machine determine for me.
You know, a lot of people are not going to want to leave the United States after this World Cup. There have been so many people that have come here, especially from like England and Scotland, that have Japan also. They are loving it here so much in America. They're realizing how big everything is, how much freedom we have, all the different foods, the cultures, everything here is amazing. And they don't want to go back. They don't want to go back to England, to Scotland, to Ireland. They want to stay here and live the American dream. France even. Because if you take a look at what's happening in the United Kingdom, in Ireland, in France especially, these people have no interest in going back to those countries. Those countries have been overtaken, they have been invaded, and there's no going back from them. They are being taken over. And no one wants to go back to that. So it's going to be very interesting to watch them all go like, damn, I got to go back to this shit now? Please, how do I go back to America?
And so the rumors are true. Europeans only hate America because they've never actually been there. For years, you couldn't scroll through social media without seeing a European telling you how bad America is. The food is trash, the people are fake, the culture is shallow, no healthcare, no vacation days. And honestly, I used to just let that slide. And as a European myself, I was in their shoes. And let me tell you, the World Cup comes in the US and all of a sudden millions of Europeans who've been talking down on this country their entire lives show up. And you know what happens? Well, they lost their minds, but in a good way. The stadiums, the energy, the fans, the food, the hospitality of Americans, video after video of Europeans saying, I had no idea it was like this. Americans are actually so nice. And they saying that they've been in the wrong place all their lives. Funny. And again, I'm not saying America's perfect. It's not. But the World Cup just proved something really simple. You cannot have a strong opinion about a place you've never been to. Leave your hometown. Explore, because I genuinely think the World Cup taught us all something. The only way to find out how good something actually is to go experience it yourself. And for a lot of Europeans, America just changed their entire worldview in 90 minutes. So, Europeans, tell me I'm wrong.
This is a message to all Europeans that are in America for the World Cup. There's something nobody's telling you, and frankly, I feel a moral obligation to step in. You think you're going there for soccer? No, you're not. Because the moment you land in America is when it starts. Americans will tell you, you gotta try this local place. Then it's barbecue. Then it's burgers. Then it's tacos. Then somebody introduces you to biscuits and gravy. Trust me, you'll never want to leave. Every city has its own food. Every state has different food. And every American has a recommendation. So my advice to Europeans is simple. Be be prepared. Be prepared to come back considerably heavier than when you went out there. Also, pack light. Not because of souvenirs, because your genes are entering the tournament too. And unlike your national team, there's a very good chance they won't make it through the group stage. When I tell you the food is that good in America, I have to go on a weight loss boot camp every time I come back home. You'll start finding hole-in-the-wall places and putting your body into a food coma. You'll find a Ma and Pa restaurant and set yourself a 10,000 calorie challenge. And if you don't believe me, look, I'm even wearing merch from a barbecue place in America. American hospitality is just people trying to destroy you with kindness and melted cheese. And don't get me started on the free refills. All I'm saying is there's going to be a lot of Scotsmen getting their kilts remeasured when they get back to Scotland.
It is extremely refreshing watching all of you Europeans enjoy the United States of America. I have been watching your videos all afternoon, and it's just fabulous. Everybody bragging about everything from the food to the air conditioning. And I got to tell you, again, it's extremely refreshing. And to watch these huge crowds of people, and they just seem to be on their best behavior. And they're marching through the streets and they're celebrating, and they're not destroying property. They're not busting out windshields. Yeah, so for us watching you guys enjoy America, it's fantastic. And watching you do it with class, it's even better. Thank you very, very much. All of you NBA fans, you could learn something. You NFL fans, Americans could learn something from our friendly European friends that have come over here to enjoy the World Cup. So enjoy the soccer matches. Thank you very much for enjoying America and being so cool while you're here. Peace and love. I'm out.
Americans have been so confused that the World Cup was being hosted in the US because they don't really care about soccer. I truly believe that the World Cup was meant to be in the US because of the impact that having other people from outside of this country coming in and celebrating all there is to see and all the fun and all the foods and everything. But to have it be so publicized in such a large, impactful way by, to be honest, predominantly people from the UK, aka the Tartan Army, I am so happy that this has been done. That the World Cup is going to be something that stays in memories and will live on for years to come here, especially here in Boston, where we have seen such incredible joy and happiness about Americans. They will get involved. They will welcome you. They will become one with you. That is just what they are. That is the nature of these people. We've been chatting to a lot of the Scots here. They are our brothers and sisters from the UK. And even though I am not Scottish, I'm so proud of how they're representing us and the joy and energy they have brought to the city. And when the Scots find out that we actually live in Boston, they keep saying to us, why would you ever come back? You're not going to come back, are you? And I'm like, no, of course not. They're like, this place is amazing. That's a lot about what the World Cup is about, is bringing that energy and pride from where you're from to whatever country is hosting the World Cup. And underneath all of the chants, the flags, the bagpipes, and all the other countries that are representing themselves, you realize we're all doing the same thing. It's not just about the soccer. And if you're English and you are coming to Boston, do not even think about coming here and showing any less energy than that. We've got to keep the party going. At the end of the day, a lot of my videos have been about, the small little things in between the big things that make the US great. And I feel like you're seeing that on such a large scale now. As much as the Scots have come here and brought their energy and been so lovely and we've loved having them, I also feel like the rest of the world are seeing Americans for what they truly are. They are so hospitable. They are so warm and friendly and open and welcoming. It's just a great celebration for everybody.
Libs are constantly dogging on America, saying this is the worst place to live, it's systemically racist, it's violent, it's run by a tyrant. Yet they never leave and go to the socialist utopias of Europe. In fact, when Europeans come here, they don't want to go home. Watch.
We owe America a huge apology because America is nothing like what the media tells us. Everyone is so friendly, everyone is so accommodating, and I've honestly had the best time. I fly home Sunday and the English have a song where we say, please don't take me home, I just don't want to go to work, let me stay here and drink all your beer. And I've never resonated with that song more than in America for this World Cup. I wish I could stay and finish the tournament watching England. So if anyone is out there that can help me make this happen, then please let me know. I want nothing more than to stay in the USA, finish the World Cup, and meet more fantastic Americans.
America isn't a real place. I'm stood outside the White House, and I'm pretty sure Trump is literally coming in as I got here. That's pretty mental. I'm not joking when I say that literally happened 10 minutes after I got out my hotel from being in Washington. I'm sure this isn't a real place. It's a simulation. That was incredible.
He's a bigger celebrity than me, probably. I don't know. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
I'll tell you what, yeah? I pledge allegiance. I do. What piece of paper do I need to sign on? I want in on America more than I've ever wanted in on anything in my life. You see that plane there? If it's going to America, I'm going to jump up, I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to come. I can't do this country anymore. I can't do the UK. It feels like we're in a tiny little cage, a restricted cage with nothing fun to do at all. Now that I've experienced America, it's ruined my perception on everywhere else in the world. What do I need to do? I will get the American flag tattooed on my body. Anywhere. You pick. Let me in. Shauna! I'm going to get her up the duff. We're going to raise our family in America. It's going to be beautiful. Just let me know what I need to do to get in. Like, honestly, there must be a couple of Americans. I know there are actually, because they messaged me telling me that they don't enjoy America. So let's swap. Let's swap right here, right now. Let's do a deal. I'm coming.
For years, the story out of Europe was the same. America was fading. The headlines talked about a country split down the middle, drowning in crime, priced out of reach, and nothing like the place that once pulled generations across the ocean chasing a dream. Social media piled on until doubting America online became almost a reflex. To a lot of people watching from the other side of the Atlantic, the US had stopped being somewhere to visit. It had become somewhere to avoid. Then something shifted. The 2026 FIFA World Cup pulled thousands of European fans into American cities, many for the first time in their lives. They landed braced for disappointment. What they got instead made them rethink the whole picture. It wasn't the stadiums or the sheer scale of the skylands that caught them off guard. It was the people. Strangers smiled at them, pointed them toward hidden gem restaurants, struck up easy conversation, and treated them like neighbors instead of tourists. Clip after clip started showing up online with the same message: we owe America an apology. Some admitted they'd bought into the stereotypes for years without questioning them. Others said the country they walked through bore almost no resemblance to what they'd seen online. Nobody claimed the place was flawless, but plenty of these visitors noticed a real gap between the version of America they'd been sold and the one they actually stood in. And oddly enough, the football wasn't even the highlight. It was the hospitality. Fans from Scotland say they were folded in like long-lost relatives. Visitors from Britain talked about strangers going far out of their way, pointing out where to eat, sitting down to chat, making them feel like they belonged before they'd even unpacked. One moment stuck with people. A passenger brought a homemade lemon cake onto a flight and handed out slices to people she'd never met. Travelers said they couldn't picture that happening back home. That one small gesture became a stand-in for everything else they kept running into. Generosity with no strings attached. Then the food showed up. If Europeans learned one thing fast, it's that Americans don't moderate. Texas brisket burgers the size of dinner plates, tacos, biscuits smothered in gravy, diners tucked off the main strip. Every city seemed set on stuffing them past the point of comfort. Visitors joked that Americans don't win an argument, they bury you in kindness and melted cheese. Giant portions, non-stop food recommendations, and the strange novelty of free refills turned into running jokes across their trip. A few said they'd need to buy bigger clothes before the flight home. But the food wasn't the only thing that stunned them, actually. It was the size of everything. Wide highways, supermarkets, the size of small airports, skyscrapers, suburbs stretching for miles, and land that never seemed to run out. Some visitors from the UK said it felt like stepping out of somewhere, cramped into somewhere that felt wide open with possibility. Not everyone will put it that way, but for these travelers, freedom and opportunity felt like things you could actually touch, not just talk about. What stuck with a lot of them was the gap between what they expected and what they found. Going in, some pictured a country pulled apart by politics, tense and unwelcoming. What they found instead were ordinary people happy to talk, eager to point them toward their favorite spot, proud to show off where they lived. For many, those small moments outlasted the memory of these marches themselves. And that's really the point of the story. It is not about crowning one country better than the other. It's about what happens when people put down their headlines and the algorithm fed opinions and actually go see a place with their own eyes. Travel has a habit of cracking open assumptions and reminding people that no country fits neatly inside a screen. The World Cup is what got these fans on a plane. But for a lot of them, what they carried home wasn't the goals or the trophies or the stadium's lights. It was the kindness of people they'd never met. It was feeling at home somewhere they'd been wont to fear. And for some, it meant flying back with a completely different story than the one they'd arrived with. Maybe the real upset of the 2026 World Cup didn't happen on the field at all. Maybe it happened in the minds of the people who showed up just to watch. This is the Black Cheese Reactions. Thank you for being here. Let us catch up in the next one, guys.